Hello, everybody. Welcome back. David Alvarado here, and I'm super excited to one of our guests just being able to share ideas with other people in other industries, just crushing it out there, regardless of what's going on in the world, regardless of the uncertainty that's out there. You have a choice, and you have the choice to say it's going to let that affect me or it's not. And today, I got Aron here with us that is just doing amazing things in the loan industry, and I'm excited to introduce you and speak on that. Aron, how you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Likewise,
Thanks
brother.
for coming out.
Absolutely.
We've known each other for quite some time.
Yeah.
We see each other on social media more than we see each other in person.
Yes. That's normal nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
I got uncomfortable and I reached out. I was like, "Hey, you wanna get together and do some podcasting?"
Absolutely.
And thankfully you were able to say yes, and now you're here.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So Aron, you've been in the industry for a while now, right? The loan industry.
Yeah. So financial services for about 15 to 16 years, but loans like mortgage industry for about 9 years since 2014. So I'm in my 9th year of doing home loans particularly. But I've been in like financial services for over 15 years.
The genre of the generation of what is banking and lending is usually this older guy in a suit and tie, and you're young, you're Latino, you're good looking, and you're crushing it.
Thank you.
And it's exciting to see that you don't have to have a million years of experience to make it in any industry.
No, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about that. What is that certain something for you?
Yeah, so in anything, right? So I think we talked about this a little bit off camera earlier, is when I got started in the business, I really wanted to work with somebody face to face and really provide value and get people into homes. Prior to me joining the mortgage business, I bought a home myself and I saw what it did for me and my financial future and what position it put me in financially by owning real estate. Yeah. So when I got into real estate and mortgages, I wanted to share my experience, how I built wealth through real estate. So I really, in the last 8 or 9 years, just empowering and providing and educating and encouraging building wealth through home ownership, right? Because I really believe that real estate is probably the best or one of the best ways to build wealth, and it's through real estate, right? So, yeah, the last 8 or 9 years have been, I always tell people if you work an 8-hour day, right? Because we all know in this business we're 100% commission. We don't have bosses, right? We work for ourselves.
Yep.
But if you put in an 8-hour day and you do stick to the basics, you call your customers back, you're responsive, you're kind, you're likable, you're positive, you provide value, and you have good relationships and you nurture those relationships, you'll be surprised of all the results that you get.
It's very similar to the insurance industry because people think that you have to sell these products. And in the insurance industry, I'm sure in the loan industry, you're not selling anything.
No.
You're educating.
Yep.
And you're putting all the power in the client's hands, and then they just choose.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
When you sell, and you're trying to sell this stuff, it seems like you're chasing them away.
Correct.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I always talk to people about this, like, so you do sales for a living? Like, yes, technically it's sales. It's categorized as sales, and just like your business, life insurance, and any product, if you sell a product, right? Mortgages, life insurance, whatever the case may be. Yes, technically it's sales, but it's people, unless you're buying cash, a home cash, you need a loan, right? And we show you how to obtain financing in the best way possible that fits you and your family's financial needs. Yeah. And then we show you different products. A lot of people go online and get pre-approved and they just get one option and they're like, okay, great, this is what I'm going with. But we're more than that, right? We are actual mortgage consultants, and we sit down with customers either via Zoom or in person, and we show you what all the options are available to you so that you can make an informed decision for you and your family.
Man. Yeah. See, that makes me want to do my next loan with you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, you brought up earlier, like the old way of banking and mortgage guys, you think of it like this old guy in a suit, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day, that's how it was. Like, you go to a bank or a loan guy will come to you and say, here you go, here's your loan. Yeah. You sign and you kind of move forward. Nowadays, there's so many different ways you can get financing. I mean, there's FHA loans, conventional loans, non-QM, bank statement loans, VA loans, jumbo loans. There's so many different types of loans and everything is different, right? So when we sit down with every single client, we walk you through. I do what's called a discovery call or discovery discussion.
Yeah.
Right? We ask you, what are you looking to do? How much money are you willing to spend? What's your budget? Where are you looking to buy? What's important to you? Are you saving money for retirement? Do you have life insurance? We kind of have like a holistic approach when we're consulting on mortgages, and that gives us a better idea of what product to put them in. And then obviously we explain all the details, right? Like your closing costs, what's going on in the market today, your interest rate, different ways to get your interest rate down or your payment down. So I mean, nowadays getting a loan is, people think at a glance, oh yeah, it's boring. I went to Starbucks the other day and I drove through and this lady was like, oh, what do you do for work? You know, they're really chippy at Starbucks. I'm like, oh, I do home loans for a living. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, that sounds boring. And I'm like, you have no idea. I'm sure if someone mentioned, like, oh, life insurance, you're like, policy, but you realize how fun it is, and you know,
there's so much more than just selling life insurance.
Of course.
It's everything else that people don't see, you know.
Exactly.
You know, what I really love about what you're talking about is that consultative approach, because it's exactly what we do here at Symmetry and in my agency is we take that consultative approach. And then I'm sure you probably run into this where people are like, I'm not telling you that, I'm not telling you that. And then you're like, hey, well, I just can't help you then. Right. But if you take the consultative approach, not only does your client know what they have, but you know what they have, and now everybody's informed, and now you can make the best decision, and they can make the best decision.
Absolutely.
How many times have you couldn't help a client because they held back information?
Oh, all the time. That happens on a regular basis in the mortgage business.
Basis.
Yeah, if you don't ask them a lot of questions and get a really good idea of what they're looking to do with their whole entire financial picture. Do they have kids? Where are you looking to buy? Do you have life insurance? Or do you have money set aside after this down payment and your closing costs? Do you have money set aside for emergencies or for retirement? So if you don't ask all the questions, and if you're not really good at your job to discover those needs, you could put them in a different loan product and it could be hell down the road. Right? Or you could put your customer, your client could be in a bind 6 months down the road or a year down the road because you put them in the wrong product because you didn't do your due diligence and a good job asking all those questions up front.
You know, and what I love about what you're saying is that insurance industry is the same exact way, and it's those people that don't care to go down that consultative approach always have a hard time finding success, because they have to sell the product. And I'm sure it's the same thing in your industry, right?
Very, very similar, because I think it's just being lazy, to be honest, right? They're not good at their jobs. But if you ask all the questions and really take your time to ask all the important questions of what's important to your client and their family, they'll start opening up to you. And then at the end, you're not selling. You're just saying, okay, great. Based on what you told me, David, you're getting married soon. You after your down payment, you need to have money left over for a rainy day. You don't have any money retirement set aside for your retirement. You have no money in your kids' accounts. You have no life insurance. So we're able to approach this way. So we could tell them, hey, this is the right mortgage product. You could do a little money down, like the least amount of money down, so that you can have money left over for everything else.
So now you're making my mind jog here. I'm thinking about all these things. The industry, the market has changed. Right? Today we're kind of facing a different market than we did 2 years ago. Tell us a little bit about that. What's going on out there? I don't want to. There's good news. There's bad news. I don't listen to any of that stuff. You tell me.
Yeah. Well, as we know, a couple years ago during COVID, 2020, 2021, interest rates were at an all-time low. We're like 2 or 3% interest rates. So everybody got into the market. Buyers were flooding the market with getting pre-approved and buying homes. People were offering $100,000 over asking price, $50,000 over asking price. So that's a little change nowadays, because now interest rates have gone up over the last 10 months. Now rates are like in the high 5s and low to mid 6s. So the affordability has become a challenge, right? Because your payment on a $500,000 house here in Riverside is now $1,000 more expensive than it was a year ago or 2 years ago. So that's important, right? So people have kind of put their foot on the brakes and okay, is it the right time? Should I buy a house now or should I wait? Interest rates are going to come back down. Housing prices might come back down, but housing prices haven't come back down, despite rates being where they're at. My buddy is a realtor. He's a top performing realtor here in Riverside County, and he did an open house this weekend. There was literally, he said 150 people showed up before they got there. So affordability is a challenge, but buying real estate is still tried and true. And again, going back to why people buy real estate is because, yes, you get to buy a piece of land and make it your own and raise your kids in there, raise your family, but more importantly, it's one of the best assets to creating wealth.
So you're bringing me on to my next question. What are we doing today, or what are you guys doing today to survive in this tough economy or tough market? Because I don't know if it's tough for everybody, but what are you doing different today that's getting you ahead?
Sure. A few different things. Sticking to the basics, right?
I love that.
Working your ass off.
Yes.
Can I say ass?
Yes.
Maybe. Working your butt off, right, is super important, right? If you don't work your butt off, you're not going to get the results. So you have to work twice as hard now as you did 2 years ago to get the same results, even probably less results, right? So working your butt off is super important. And I talk about hard work all the time because people ask me all the time, hey, Aaron, what's the key to success? How are you doing so well? What's your strategy? Well, my strategy, first and foremost, is to wake up, go to work, and work my butt off, okay? Number 2 is making sure you have the right relationships in place, right? And then number 3 is making sure you're providing value. Because there's 1 million loan officers just in this city. There's 1 million realtors in this city.
Yes.
But what makes you different? What sets you apart from the other lenders and the other real estate agents is providing value. And what we do with all of our clients is we walk them through, like I said, a consultation for about an hour, either via Zoom and in person. A lot of lenders don't do that. A lot of lenders just give you pre-approval right off the phone and say, okay, great. You're qualified for $800,000, David. Go find a house. That's it. And you're like, okay, cool. That's all I know. I'm pre-approved. But no, we take it way further than that, and we make sure that hey, rates are higher, affordabilities are challenged, but let me walk you through why buying real estate is still a really, really great investment. So that's what makes us different.
I love that. And I like that you started with work your butt off, because that's going to be the basic fundamental to any career. It doesn't matter it does not matter what's going on.
Right.
I heard this podcast the other day where this guy never paid attention to the stories in the news, never did nothing, and his business for the last 15 years was doing great, even though it's gone through its ups and downs of the economy. Right. Then the son all of a sudden grows up, goes to college, he's an economist, he's telling his dad, the economy's bad, what are you doing? The economy's bad, what are you doing? And he's like, what? Didn't even know, and all of a sudden, his business went from being very steady, growing, to failing because his son told him that the economy is bad.
Oh yeah.
And it does not matter what's going on. If you work hard, you're always going to persevere. You're always going to grow, and you're always going to continue to stay above or ahead of the game. And
it's funny that you mentioned that about the economy, that story, because I heard something a while back, is that you can't control the economy, but what you can control is your own economy.
Oh,
right? Because you can't control the economy. What's happening in the world? People ask me all the time, I go to parties and barbecues, oh man, I heard the rates are high. Heard people, my buddy does real estate and he's really tough, or my buddy's a lender, my neighbor's a lender and he's having a hard time. How are you doing? You must be having a hard time too. It's like, no, actually we're flourishing. We're taking market share because, again, we're good at our job. We provide value, and I'm not worrying about what the economy is doing, right? With the interest rates and the recession. I'm not focused on that. I'm focusing on what is the need for you to buy? Is there a need for you to buy a house? Yeah. And if there is, let me discover that with you.
Awesome. Yeah. What do you know about life insurance?
Not all that. I know about life insurance, like a regular whole policy or a term life policy. Okay. I know I have whole life and term life, but like the universal index, I'm not too sure about that. But I would love to learn more about it. And I think it's just like common sense, right? Especially if you love your family. I'm sure most parents love their kids and their spouses, right? Yeah. Maybe not. But to me, it was super important.
And it's funny that you say that, because there's a lot of people out there that are highly successful like you. And because they have money, they say they don't need life insurance.
Yeah, I hear that too.
Have you heard that?
Yeah, yeah.
And it just blows my mind, because it's like the more you have, the more you need insurance, right? The more money you're making, the more the insurance is more valuable. Right. But, you got these restaurant owners, even real estate agents, loan officers that, yes, they make good money, but they feel like life insurance is not a tool. What do you think about that?
I think it's dumb. First and foremost, I think it's really dumb. If you don't have life insurance, and first of all, you should always have life insurance. Even if you're a young single person with a home or a car, you should always have life insurance, because if you were to pass away, correct me if I'm wrong, if you were to pass away at 21 years old, someone needs to bury you. And I hate to be super hardcore about this, but I heard funerals are very expensive. Yeah. So you're going to leave that burden on your parents or your siblings to bury you, which is like 15, 20 or 30 grand, right? So now imagine if you have a family with kids or a house or a mortgage, how could you not want life insurance, right? And then why say you don't think it's important because you have a bunch of money, you have homes, you have a business, or you have a lot of money in savings, but why deplete that so that your family could live off that and then diminish that for the next 10 to 15 years? Why not just pay a premium of a couple $100 or even less sometimes?
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be, right? And then be protected in both ways.
Oh, man.
That way your kids could be, they could benefit from the money when you pass away, and then they could still take your business or your money and flourish with that. And
so many people, because they have a 401k with, let's say, $1 million in it, or they got a portfolio of real estate properties with 2 or 3 that give it some passive income. Oh, they can sell that, or hey, I have a business, they can sell the business. And they don't realize that you're selling an income generating tool for your family.
Correct.
To liquidate, pay taxes.
Right.
So diminish the value of it just to use it as a death benefit so your family can survive for a short period of time.
Exactly. How
does that make sense to sell the farm?
It doesn't.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because the breadwinner died.
Yep.
Right? It doesn't make sense. But people think that just because they have money today they don't need life insurance and they're invincible. And the family will be fine because I have a little bit of money in the bank.
Right. And I know lately I've been hearing a lot about, you talk about this in your podcast and your videos, and I've been hearing a lot about cash value.
Yes.
Like leveraging your cash value policy to buy real estate and to lend against it.
Yeah.
And not using your own like savings or your 401k, but using cash value. I've been hearing that a lot lately. What is that? Can you explain what that is?
Well, now you're getting me all excited, bro.
Sorry.
I've been
wanting to ask like a true expert lately.
So index universal life products, participating whole life products. There's only 2 products in the country that you can invest in at a tax-free basis, structured properly. And I'm going to stress that part about structured properly because there's 90% of insurance agents out there sell these products incorrectly. And there's a select few of agents out there that will educate themselves on how to manipulate the tax code so it has a large amount of cash value and a low amount of death benefit, so that way the cost of insurance is low and the accumulation is high. So what a lot of people are doing is instead of leaving money in the bank, doing nothing, not compounding interest, and the little it does, you get to pay taxes on it.
Right.
They move that money into a cash value policy. Then now it's compounding interest, it is tax-free, and you have access to the money. So what a lot of even real estate agents have done is they say, hey, we got a large lump sum of money, $1 million, $2 million. They put it into these participating whole lives or index universal life products, depending on what they want to use it for. They will then pull the money out, invest it into real estate, because everybody wants to park their money for real estate for tax purposes and passive income.
Right.
So as you put the money into the index universal life product, it's compounding interest. You pull a policy loan, so now the principal is still growing untouched. Buy your property, and that's another investment. Now you get tax benefits, you get passive income, you get equity growth, and both assets are growing in that direction.
Real estate and your life insurance policy.
Exactly.
Got it.
So now what did you do? You're using money, and you're using this product to leverage it and buy 2 assets instead of 1. Most people, money in the bank, buy a house, done. Your money is now going from
liquidated.
You have no more access to the money unless you refinance.
Right.
Which costs,
or save more money.
Or save more money, right? Yeah. And refinancing costs, it's a cost.
Right.
So it's not cheap.
Yes.
Right? And then you got fees, you got amortization, you got all these things. So when you have a life insurance product that you can fund, now you create your own bank, where now your bank is compounding interest, growing capital, and you can use it to invest in other properties.
Love that. That's awesome.
That is what the power of these advanced products that most people don't even know about. They have no idea.
Yeah. Literally, besides having life insurance, up until like a year ago, I started realizing there's other tools that you can use within life insurance, like cash value, to like leverage to buy real estate. Because I heard a lot of like you talk about this and other people that I follow on social media. But I recently heard there's more millionaires that are like in life insurance than there are any other millionaires. Yeah. That was a really cool statistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The insurance industry is $1 trillion business. It is $1 trillion industry. So if you can say, hey, I get a 1% market share of that, you're a millionaire.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And it's true. There's more millionaires in the insurance industry than any other. Real estate and lending is, they're the second and third. But the reason is because of the opportunity to create cash flow,
Right.
to be able to and show clients how to invest in these products and how to be able to offset risk, right? It's one of the things that a lot of us are exposed to right now.
Absolutely.
You know, we're risking our money based upon markets that we
Yeah.
have zero control over.
Right.
So if you're going to invest money into something that you're not going to lose because you have no control of the market, but you still have upside potential, but yet you have access.
Right.
Because every IRA, 401k out there, except for exception of 401k, you don't have access to the money.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
So you're just saying buy to that 2,000, 4,000, 6,000. And you know what people are saying? Well, I get a discount on my taxes. Well, if you're saving about 1 or 2% on taxes to pay more taxes later on down the line, because we do know
You have to pay
taxes
taxes
do
eventually.
increase,
Right.
and you do have to pay taxes eventually, why not pay them now? Well, they're at an all-time low, compound interest, pull the money out, 100% tax-free.
Yeah. And then you could buy, like you said, invest into real estate.
And then you can invest into real estate.
Do both.
Do both. Listen, I'm a big believer of real estate.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to be in the commercial real estate side. I'm not really crazy about the residential.
Got it.
Right? I like more opportunity.
Yeah,
right?
real estate in general. Yeah.
Real estate in general.
Yeah, because it's the best way, literally, to build, I think, because life insurance, real estate, and other things as well. But I think life insurance and real estate is probably some of the best vehicles to build wealth. And that's why I'm so crazy about it, right? And I talk to people about it all the time because when I bought my first house, 13, 14 years ago, and I sold that piece of land or property years later, I saw what it did for me and my family. It just put me in a much better financial position, right? I was able to buy another house.
Yeah.
I was able to put money away for savings. I paid off some debt. I invested into the market.
Yeah.
I put money away to buy another house down the road. So I always tell people, especially young people, buy a house because a house will get you the house or more houses down the road.
Absolutely.
Right? So yeah. Thanks, man.
Man, hey, Aaron.
Dude,
thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
A wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
Follow this guy on social media. He's all over the place already.
Yeah, right.
I probably should get some of his followers. Thank you for coming out.
You got it, brother.
We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks,
Take
guys.
care.